Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 3 of Raven's Magic School. I'm going to be talking about planetary magic and some important methods that you need to know. Alright, so in the past videos we went over the perspectives of the mind, the conscious and the subconscious mind, and kind of how you are supposed to be in the middle and change the way you look at things to effectively alter things in your world or effectively do magic basically. And we went over the hermetic laws and a couple things about making sigils and intent. And now I want to get into some more stuff. One of the things I'm on right now is called Planetary Magick. If you go on my Facebook page, you can see that I'm posting the Planetary Magick of the Day post, and it kind of explains a little bit about that and what you can do and what kind of correspondences you can use to align together to enhance, the power or enhance your intent. And the more stuff you use, all the materials you put into it, the time you put into it, your will that you put into it, that all adds up. The more you do it, the more it's gonna affect or enhance it. So if you like to incorporate a lot of items with your rituals and spellcasting, Planetary Magick is all about that. So Planetary Magick teaches a lot about intent and your will. It's said magic is the science or art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. Now, what that means is causing change in our physical world in conformity with your intent or your thoughts or your actions. And planetary magic is a lot about intent, and it teaches you about incorporating a lot of different things to enhance your intent or your willpower. And the more it's enhanced and the more intention you have in something to happen, the more it's going to happen. It's science. Science is the inspection of something, and art is the expression of something. So pretty much you have to use planetary magic and astrological charts and readings to basically find out about yourself and who you are in a way, and it kind of shows you the options that you have. Once you find out who you are, you find out what changes you need to make to become successful. Everybody's different. Everybody needs to make different changes. So using planetary magic, science, basically astrological science, helps you find out who you are and what paths or doors you can choose to take. Sometimes when you look at your horoscope and you read, say you're Libra, which I am, and you read it and it doesn't really make sense. It's because there isn't one set type of Libra. There's different styles of Libras, depending on the time and what planets and where the sun is. The sun has a lot to do with who you are and your personality. The sun is about the self. We're going to get into that a little bit later here, but there's also the moon aspect of astrology, and you can base it off where the moon is on your chart, and that's a little bit different. And I just wanted to get that out there though about planetary magic. It's really a science, that you study to figure out who you are in a way to figure the best paths or changes you need to make. So we got science, which is the inspection of, and then art, which is the expression of. So in order to express ourselves correctly or in the best way, we need to use science, astrology, to inspect the ways that we can do this. And that's kind of another idea of planetary magic. And it's a way to use science to back up your art or your magic. So I think that's pretty cool. So let's think about this idea for a second. Everything came from a thought. Everything came from a man or woman's thought. First of all, everything around us, the computer, the desk you're sitting at, or the house you live in. You know, everything we have and use in our life today came from a thought, you know, in someone's mind. So magic isn't really so ridiculous, because magic is creation of change with conformity of will or intent. So it's not so crazy to think that you can magically make something happen, because everything starts in the mind, like I said before. And everything we have in life now started in our mind. So it's kind of like, you know, the world kind of got that idea out of our heads that we can't create stuff, magic isn't real. Well, guess what? Magic is real. And I'm going to help you find out, and I'm going to help you understand. We're going to change this world and ourselves for the better. And one of the ways of doing that is understanding planetary magic and astrological charts. And we're going to get into that right now. Okay, there are 7 planets incorporated in planetary magic, and the sun and the moon are considered planets in the chart. And in this episode, I'm going to cover the sun and the moon and their correspondences with planetary magic. Alright, first of all, the sun. It means the center, or the soul, or the self. In Latin, it's spelled S-O-L, and it's funny because if you add the aspect of yourself or you to the word soul, you add you to S-O-L, it actually spells soul in English. I just thought that was a cool fact that I learned lately. The sun is also about rulership and your personality, your ego. The sun is your experience in life, like your fingerprints. You know, everybody has a different perspective or experience in their life. We all have lives, but each individual has their own personal experience of life. It also controls your relationship to the world, you know, how you view the world, your experiences, and how you draw your perspective. The sun has effects on all of those things when you're born. So according to the placements of the planets and the moon from the sun when you're born, the exact time and day when you're born, that is kind of what determines who you are and what you will do and what kind of person you will become. So the sun is the center, your soul, your personality, who you are. The sun is your internal being, your base from which everything is altered. The sun is represented as a masculine energy as well. The day that corresponds with the sun is Sunday, and the colors that correspond with the sun are obviously gold, orange, white, yellow. Herbs you can burn or work with are frankincense, lemon, St. John's wort. The sun influences individuality, hope, fortune, money, power. It also promotes healing, strength, and spirituality. The animal that corresponds with the sun is the lion, or Leo. The zodiac symbol Leo is controlled by the sun. The number that corresponds with the sun is the number 1. Obviously, 1 is the self, or the beginning or creating of the self. It also represents wholeness and unity of all the energies. Another thing I wanted to tell you about the sun is that in Norse mythology, the sun is seen as a feminine aspect, Suna. She is said to drive the sun across the sky, and she is chased by a wolf, and when the wolf catches up and takes a bite out of it, it causes the eclipse. Now, in other pagan religions, the moon is known as the goddess or the feminine aspect, and the sun represents the masculine aspect. Now, the moon is also represented as the goddess or the feminine. The moon represents the cycle. The moon has a cycle of 28 days, much like a woman has a cycle of 28 days in their menstrual cycle. So this, you can see the connection with the feminine and the moon. They both have the same kind of cycles. And another thing the moon is associated with is emotion. Another word, or the Latin word for moon, is luna. And a lunatic or crazy person is said to be affected by the moon. I'm not saying women are crazy. I'm just saying that might be the connection to moods or the moon in the menstrual cycle of a woman. When they say they have their mood swings, that's the connection. The way of thinking about it is kind of how the moon affects the water, how it affects the tides, how they flow in or they ebb back. It's kind of like our lives. Sometimes they go up and we're happy, and sometimes they go down. It represents our emotions. We have to learn to control our emotions and balance in between to have success and go on with our lives. If you're too emotional all the time about little things, you're going to get upset and everything's going to be horrible and your life's going to be horrible. But if you're, on the opposite end, you're just kind of ignoring everything and being desensitive, well, you're not going to grow, you're not going to learn anything. So you have to kind of be in between to grow and balance yourself. If you're too emotional about things, you make mistakes, you get angry, you overthink. It's your emotional or your intellectual mind. Your intellect, you're careful, you're balanced, you think about it, and your results are better. So you got to kind of get into that intellectual mind rather than the emotional mind. Now, the moon is also used and is a very big part of most of witchcraft. The different phases or times of the moon, represent the different things that you can do. There's a lot of different arguments about witchcraft and Wicca, and if you can practice witchcraft, if you are an Asatru or you're Norse religion. Well, I follow Asatru and I practice witchcraft, so I find a lot of similarities in the two, and I consider witchcraft a practice, and I use my religion or Asatru gods to back up my practice. So I call on my gods to empower my witchcraft work, and I find that it works really good. Some people disagree and some people are fascinated with it, but it's your choice. It's your decision. It's how you feel. If it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. That's the whole thing. If you're thinking about it's messing things up, or you're crossing things and it's not going to work, or you're gonna disrespect them, don't do it, because that negative thought in your mind is going to go into your work, and it's going to make it negative, or it's going to not make it as strong. So if you don't feel right about it, don't do it. But this, I don't feel like I'm disrespecting anything, and I feel it works well together. So anyway, some more facts about the moon. The number that is associated with the moon is the number 2. So you get duality in the number 2. It also represents, your balance or your decisions. You can either go one way or the other. You have 2 ways you can go. The colors you can use for candle colors or associations with the moon are white, gray, or silver. I also like to inscribe the Planetary Magick symbol. It's the crescent moon into the candle as well. Some herbs or incense you can burn that associate or correspond with the moon are violet, lavender, willow, myrtle, or something called moonwort. There's a couple different rituals in witchcraft for the moon. They're called Esbat rituals. There's the full moon Esbat, the new moon Esbat, the dark moon Esbat, and something called the seed moon Esbat. Like I said before, it has a lot to do with the waxing moon or the full moon or the waning moon, or something called the dark moon, also the new moon. You work with those phases to do different things. If you do some studying and some looking up about that, you can see there's a lot of different things that you can do. And that's another thing too. I don't want you to just get your information from my site. You gotta go out there and get a lot of people's different perspectives and explanations of these things. That's the only way you can get your true understanding of them. But, my purpose here is to kind of narrow it down for you, because that's what I did. I went out, did my research, studied, gathered from various sources, and made sure that they were reliable and factual sources, and tried to share it here with you. So the moon's elemental association is obviously water. The moon controls the water and the tides, and water also represents your emotions. Now, the names for the phases of the moons are waxing, or the maiden moon, the full or the mother moon, the waning moon, also known as the crone moon. Okay, so you got all this information about the sun and the moon, and you're like, now what do I do? Well, you take all the correspondences that I told you about, like the colors, the number, the day, and you kind of connect them all together. You get a candle, like say today is Saturday, so Saturn is what is corresponding with today, and black is the color for Saturn. So I took a black candle, I carved the symbol for Saturn into it. You can find the planetary symbols online pretty much anywhere if you look them up. But yeah, I inscribed the planetary symbol onto the candle, plus a Futhark rune that helps with mental clarity and awareness, because I'm trying to kind of ground myself and clear my space so I can reset and kind of start again. I've been overwhelmed with a lot of information and a lot of responsibilities lately, and I just kind of gotta clear my space and my mind and restart so I can successfully achieve my goals in a good manner. It's just easier to ground yourself and just start at point one sometimes to get everything accomplished. And that's kind of what Planetary Magick helps you do. It helps you focus your intent or your will into a goal or something that you want to achieve. And you can use tons of correspondences and items and involve them within your ritual to enhance it, like I said. So yeah, after I, inscribed my candle, I actually gotta wait till 3 p.m. today, because that's when the planetary hour of Saturn is, and at that time I'm gonna light my candle and the certain herbs that I chose, and I'm gonna sit there, and you're supposed to let the candle burn all the way out. So what I like to do is buy like a pack of colored candles and kind of cut them up, so you don't use a whole bunch of them. I cut them in half or into little pieces so you can use them a couple times, because most of the time you're supposed to let the candle burn out all the way. So I'll cut the candle, it's about quarter the size, and inscribe it and set it and charge it and put my intent into it and wait for the planetary hour of the planet. And when the time comes, I light it, I sit down, I relax, I think about what I need to get done, I start what I need to get done, and it goes from there. You just put your intent and will on it, and you send it out there. And after that candle is done burning, that's pretty much the end of the ritual or the spell work, and your energy is then released, and you just go about your day and your business, and hopefully the spell or ritual helped you out. But that's kind of how I do it, and that's what you should take from all of this information, I guess, is, you take all the correspondences, the ones you like or the ones you can attain, and you put them together with your intent and your will, and you put it towards a goal. And the more correspondences you can find and include, the more it enhances your intentions, the more it empowers your actions and your thoughts. And you should close your circle or do some kind of hammerite ritual to mark the ending of the ritual. That kind of clears your space and kind of sends your energy away and protects you from any negative energies or anything that you may have called in, and it sends it away out into the world to do its purpose or its intent, and you just forget about it and go on with your regular day, and hopefully your magic works. There are also planetary spirits or gods that correspond with the planets as well. The one for the sun is called Shadiel, or the Horned One. Um, I guess it depends on your religion that you follow. There are different gods or entities, I guess you could say, that you can call on and include in your planetary magic and your spell work as well, depending on your choice or your religion. So now, what did we learn in this episode? I just want to go over the fact of magic is the science or art of causing change to occur in conformity with your will or your intent. So planetary magic is a great exercise to learn how to put your intent or your will into a spell or a ritual. That's kind of why I like studying planetary magic, because it kind of guides you into further workings of magic. And this kind of teaches you, there's miracles in the world that happen, but magic or intention can kind of draw another path to something happening, another path to a miracle, say, you're opening up more chances for that to happen in your intent or your will of trying to create something. So I hope I kind of explained planetary magic to you, and if you have any more questions, just let me know about it. I'd be happy to make some videos or hear some comments from some people about it. Otherwise, I'm going to be making some more planetary magic videos very soon about the other remaining planets, and I hope everyone is safe and takes care, and thanks for watching another episode of Raven's Magic School, and I will see you next time. I will try to be making some more episodes about the other planets of planetary magic here very soon, and have a good day.